Okay, guys, one thing I just want to tell you that this is all about selfies. And excuse me in the beginning, I'm going to take selfies here with all of you, if that's okay with you.
Well, they're already being recorded, so
All
it should be okay.
all
Well,
right. That's
I see that it's 1:15, and since we are on a time limit of an hour, I'll go ahead and get started. I am Bonnie Bruneau. I am part of the FAEA board, and I'm here just to help support our speaker, our guest today. The session is entitled A Selfie, an Analysis Beyond Boundaries. So hopefully that's the one that you signed up for. It is full. We have 34 people on board already. I'd
great.
like to introduce our speaker to you, our presenter, Dr. Jaljit Kaur China. Hope I pronounced that correctly.
You did.
Says she was always inspired, motivated, and encouraged by her parents and the rich cultural surroundings in her native rural India. She grew up in the Punjabi culture artistically, and that grew her appreciation for art. She did receive a master's degree with honors and has been a creative person her whole life from her bio, which I know you've read through in the conference schedule. She migrated to Canada and had a home studio there where she painted and drew using oil acrylics, oil pastels, water-based colors, charcoal. So she has never limited herself to one specific medium or surface, but follows her inspirations to guide her. Don't you love that? Often developing a series projecting a common theme, social cause, or philosophy. And I know you're going to hear about some of that today. Her work represents her curiosity about the world around her and her interaction with abstract figures, folk motif, symbols, and bright color combinations, which you'll see some of also today. She has exhibited in over 10 international solo shows and 20 group shows, including juried international shows. As I read through her bio, she has done just about everything you can imagine, including international public presentations, lectures, publications in local, state, national level newspapers and magazines, as well as curating art shows. You may be surprised that she also was very active in Canada with TV programs, assisted and participated in a documentary by Front TV, and she produced and hosted Brain Teasers, a children's program. I want to hear more about that another time. She
Okay.
hosted a prestigious live 1 hour weekly TV show, South Asian Focus TV. All this is in Canada. She participated in a multicultural festival in Ontario, won Best Volunteer, and also had other international recognitions. I'm happy to report, as she is, that she accomplished a doctorate in fine arts in 2019. So she's ready to find her next door opening. Keep her in mind, keep her in mind. Presently, she's based in St. Johns County, Florida. She was wishing we would be there in her home county, not virtual, but this is it. She motivates others as a visual artist, educator, and curator. And this is the part I love, spreading rainbow colors of inspiration among young artists. She hopes that the seeds of life inspire others to reach leaps and fly limitlessly. Her desire is to write a biography that portrays her journey from a little girl in a small village pond to the seven seas to which she has traveled. So let's give a warm welcome to Dr. Jajit China.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm really, it's a lot of gratitude I'm feeling today. But seriously, when I think about, thanks, Bonnie, for a wonderful introduction. You don't have to go through a lot, but I think we all are writing our biographies. And definitely the village I was born, it's very small. My dad was a teacher who was always inspirational. And when I see myself here today, um, I moved to Canada in young age, but yes, people always dream about living in USA and becoming an artist in USA with seeing opportunity to meet all these wonderful people. creative people around you, it really tells us like everything is, there is no boundary, boundaryless world. You talk about culture, you talk about color, you talk about language, you talk about anything. There are no boundaries. And it's the limits, if we are putting it by ourselves, so we have to be limitless. And Selfie, the topic for today, is very close to me because I've been called crazy. I've been called so many things, which is okay. And I love it. I think that's the best compliment anybody could have. And I'm excited to be among all of you and hope I'll be able to do justice to this opportunity. But please, I'm very open-minded person. Interrupt me, talk to me, reach me anytime. I know how it is when you're a brand new teacher, and even if you moved from someplace. So I can feel myself in that shoe. If you are in that one today, I'm still a student. I'll be continuous to be a student until my last breath. And so here I am. So I will start with your permission, Bonnie. I can start with my um, sharing screen, and we'll go with our self-portrait steps for selfie as a without boundary selfie. Okay, so let me just share it quickly so we can all go through this, and please feel free to, be part of it. Okay. Well, this is an opportunity that you guys are here, not physically in town, but I'm blessed that you are at my home now, actually in my room. So, which is great. So, talking about this, a selfie and analysis about beyond boundaries. Um, you know what? Selfie is a self-presentation which enables a person to influence not only themselves and manage the perception of themselves. It's all about by others too, because people judge us or we judge ourselves, but it's more about knowing yourself. That's how I see it. So even if you're talking, I'm going to touch base on everything, and then we'll start with the actual work, which you all will be participating. We'll do our best in this time limit. Self-portrait before digital photography. So the first selfie was taken in 1839, and the term was added to the dictionary in 2013, which signified its prevalence in modern culture. So if you can see these pictures, the photographic self-portrait by Robert Cornelius in 1839. So onwards, you can see other three too. So I'm not going to go in details because this will be available for you all. So we can, moving forward, um, again, we were talking about a self-presentation. It's the expression of a portrait that enables a person to influence and manage their own perception. It's a fine visual interpersonal communication. It's a self-reflection, just like the way we look in the mirror. It's fun, but could be challenging as well. Some people say that for some, because they may lack self-confidence of self-appearance. Why I'm saying that? Because when I've been, commented negative or positive, okay, I don't want to be in your selfie, or things like that. It's not about them or me. It's about the personal how they are feeling at that time. So that's why some people, they says people are psychopaths when they're taking selfies, but it's not. It's about the expression, it's about the time and everything we can relate for that moment, to capture that moment in our time. So when I'm looking into creating a self-image without a boundaries or realistic or abstraction on time and mind, that's exactly how we're taking a digital picture or creating our own selfie. And this particular portrait, it's a long ago when I was a student. And when I'm going back to all those sketches, I can feel how I'm feeling. And that's exactly what we're going to discuss today as well. Like when you are going to create your own selfie, don't limit yourself that this has to be perfect. No, portrait is not about being a perfectionist. It's about more about feeling we're going to talk about. Okay, so participants of all levels will be able to start a basic sketch or even try our best to complete the um, portrait today if possible. Otherwise, you can continue and we can always share the finished product. Okay, so definitely either we'll be able to put a reflection or inner self, or could be an ideal image of yourself. So not to limit yourself again. So draw a selfie as a self-reflection. Do not need to think about anything else. If you have a picture printed, which I suggested earlier, and I have a couple of them printed right here on my back for myself, which I use in my classroom sometimes. I did in the past. Somehow I was not able to find those pictures particularly for that year, but we'll go over there. So you can either way, however you feel confident. So in this one, if you see the bottom portrait, this was done as a demo in the classroom. This is simple cardboard, those. And sometimes I even use anything comes in my hand. I'm not particular about any material. So even if you get some chipping material at home, use it. You know, even old newspapers, they work so well with the charcoal or the pastels, or even if you have leftover colors, the dry colors, they work very well on that. So that's what our focus will be today, to create a limitless selfie or portrait. Um, Talking about next one, same thing. Like I'm putting different pictures and portraits of a different time in my own life as a teenager and then growing up and all that. And you will notice that there's a picture. I'm looking at the seeds, and seeds are very precious to me. And seeds are like, I cannot put any seed in the trash can. I have to put it in the dirt. And in my area, people know me and my hubby now as a papaya house because we have so many papayas. Every papaya seed or any fruit, it's going in the dirt and it grows. And that's how we grow as well, I believe. Our roots are important and our seed is important, however we can preserve it. So that particular selfie is reminds me about myself again. So again, we have already talked about this. I'm gonna just fast forward on that because we have a lot to cover. um, is Selfie or self-portrait is not a uniform phenomenon. Different motivations may be found among selfie takers or self-portrait makers, which we all know that as a professional too. So in this particular one, what I'm putting is, if you can see, this is some of the works from Picasso. He was a perfectionist. He was in a way where the people were Renaissance, they were so detailed about stuff. But at one point of his life, he actually met a child on a street and he felt like that he should paint like a child because he always was grow up by becoming a perfectionist. So later on, actually, he started making anything what comes in his mind. So three-dimensional concept was in his mind, putting pictures in a two-dimensional. So that's why you can see the eye coming on the side. So he never bothered. Then more shapes coming in the form of a portrait or selfies. These were the selfies of that time, I believe. So in particular about myself, when I'm looking in my own pictures, even you can put your feedback in there. This is how we are feeling now. But we are not suffocated. People think it's negative, pandemic. It is, no doubt, because we are losing so much of precious lives. But think about the things we are realizing about ourselves. Self. That's the key thing. Self. Knowing about yourself, your surroundings, your people, your family. Think about it. Like how we gonna. It's tough time, but still we are finding self, inner self. So visual artist can say a self-portrait or selfie, but otherwise also when we are trying to educate people around us, without realizing they're studying themselves in this period. So I think it will be history making for a creative people too. So this selfie, I have done it in the past in my schools. I will say that you can create selfies, everybody. You don't have to put a mask because so that's why the title of this was selfie. Because I took one of my pictures in we all do those beauty masks. So one day I was just sitting, I said, you know what, I'm bored. I just took a clay mask and put it on my face. And when I looked in the mirror, I felt very different because this is not about this mask, what we are wearing with the clothes or something with the time. This was prior to this. That was a mask on us. We all are wearing that mask. So that was my self-realization, how we, according to different environment, how we change. And that's what makes me study myself more. Okay, so it's about self-growth, it's about knowing yourself. So you can put all those portraits on the walls as a show for your students or for yourself in the house, or your family can work together on this. So going further, a little bit about the evolution of Picasso's iconic self-portraits, it is about the time. See, it can identify the past, present, and the future of the history of mankind. Exactly like the way I was talking earlier, even about yourself, about what timeline we are going through. So these are the top three portraits I just picked randomly from age 15 to 90. But you will see, if you Google it, you will see a lot of stuff about Picasso. And this is a quite a learning. I mean, every day we learn. But I will highly recommend that do some research, self-research, because there's a research makes makes a big difference when you are doing stuff yourself. Okay, so it's like a new chapter of our life. How man struggles for survival the way we are doing it right now, and what were the social and economical problems we are facing now, and even the cultural history, and even look at this. We, did you ever thought of it that we'll have this huge conference in your own room? We never thought of it, and it's happening. It's learning, but at the same time, now people are start gonna in future they're gonna start thinking, why do we need to rent spaces? Why do we need to go out? So it's gonna affect not only socially but economically as well. So definitely it's a self-discovery. So reconstruction and self-discovery, that's how I see it. Okay, so it's a selfie deal to subjectivity, not to objectivity. So after this, I'm gonna stop and we're gonna go over. If you have some question, you can always type in or ask. Bonnie's here. Miss Bonnie is here to help me, and I will start with the portrait process so we can work on that. So in this one, this particular portrait, I definitely want to share. This was taken about just last month, 3-4 weeks ago. I was outside in the sun and I saw a web, and I don't know why, but I felt like taking a selfie. And later on, I realized, why was that? What was that moment? I related, I tried to self study, and it is like present moment. How everybody is in this web. It is colorful. We are still working, we are still doing stuff, but this is kind of an invisible web around us, but still putting us together. So that's my own perception about my own selfie. But you can discover yourself in this process. So, in other words, I just put it in my words that in such stages, the artist sorted of the upper layers of structure, which is cemented of ego, falsehood, and ugliness. Artists become one with the dot universe and absorb the self in it. We forget about moments when we are taking selfie. Just think for a moment when you took your selfie and you said, hey, I'm going to take a selfie. Why? Where? How? You know, it's a kaleidoscope which is fixed in one's mind, and inject the energy to awake the consciousness and subconsciousness. That's feeling of the artist of that moment. And these moments, they occur very rarely when a selfless selfie. I'm saying selfless because you don't see yourself. You don't need to see even your physical appearance. It's your inner self, which you're gonna, confront the reality and inscribe the content of the truth. So stopping right here because there are so many factors we're gonna go over, like psychology and everything. So if you don't mind, Ms. Bonnie, how are we going with the timeline? Maybe I should just start with the demo because we have a lot to start with that.
Yes, I was going to tell you you're coming up on 10 minutes of the half of your presentation. So I think that's a good plan.
Okay, perfect. So we have more things to share, but we'll carry on. Maybe I'll ask Miss Bonnie to, further carry on with while I'm doing this demo. So I will start with this small stuff on my sketchbook, which I mentioned.
Excuse me. Excuse me, you're going to have to stop your screen share.
Yes, that's right. Thank you for reminding me.
No
Definitely.
problem.
I will do that. Is it better?
Yes.
Good to see you all then. Okay. So sorry, I hope you are all with me so far. You guys are okay. You can unmute and if you have to say something. You all good? Or thumbs up?
I think they can use thumbs up. I don't think they can.
Selfie. Sorry, I'm being a kid, okay? So, all right. So I'm just flipping some pages of one of my sketchbooks from the classroom itself. So what I used to do this year, by the way, I don't need to share, but I can share. I have no issues with that. I'm taking a year off finally because I have some situation that in my family that I have to. I cannot go in person. So this is what my process is. Usually I do all the lessons like this every day. So you will see all different levels. So usually put the date on it and everything. We'll go over that if you need it, the basic steps. And I heard from Ms. Moni that we do need to cover some, but I can always send you this, or there are so many ideas on Pinterest as well. Proportions. So this is the idea that when you are in the classroom, you can, with the different age groups, you can go different ways. So every time I'll create a new page for them. I can make my notes on the side and different levels, how to do the colors. This one is an interesting one, starting with the eyes, and it is on one of the Pinterest as well, how you start your portrait with the eyes. So it's very simple. You can start from kindergarten and up. Even bigger, bigger children also love it. Okay, and this can come up with a nice, easy portrait. Again, we are not worried about any dimensions on this one. So then you can work on the features with other students on each one of them. You can do the self-study. So I'm just flipping the pages, this, how, are you able to see it? I'm not sure, but I'm trying. But I will go over that on my thing too. So these are from different classes in different ways, okay? Even this one is easy for the people. If you have a sub cover, like you need a sub plan, you can do that. Okay. The easiest one for this, while I'm showing you this, if you draw an oval, let me go over that now. So if you're beginning, I'm going to start with this right here. Are you able to see this board or no?
Now, yeah. No, that's
okay.
good.
Okay, so this one, I started with an oval. I always want to tell that this is what helps me. I am not a person with a scale and everything. I go freehand drawing. So my beginning of the class is always tell them to draw circles without looking, clockwise, anti-clockwise, draw lines without looking, diagonal, vertical, horizontal, first 3 seconds or 3 minutes, whatever you want to do. Because they say, oh, I don't know how to draw a circle. So that's, okay, I don't know either. So let's draw it anyways. Over. Now, if they have difficulty, the other thing what I do, sorry for all these scratches, okay? If they don't know, then I tell them, okay, make a rectangle. Now, the best thing for that is, if they make a rectangle, so you're also covering maths in it or geometry in it, okay? Take your palm, measure your face. And then on the paper, put a dot here, put a dot here. It's anatomy, it's science. And then from the side to side, from this line to this line, it's also a hand. So you put this way, hand, put a dot on the edge where your wrist finishes. And that will give you an outline to make not a perfect rectangle, but a rectangle. If they're good with it, fine. If not, tell them to fold a paper. I don't know whether I should pick up one. Okay, here's my lesson plan for you guys. We'll talk about that later. So you fold this. If they don't know where to start, Give them a single piece of paper and fold it in 4 times. So you make a fold. Here is their rectangle to draw. Oh, okay. And then you put your hand, put a dot. So you have your dots there. Are you good? Are you able to see it?
That's better, yes.
Okay, sorry. See, this light is reflecting too. Okay, so then I'm starting from the beginning now, okay? So once you have that, sorry, it's not perfect, okay? We're not talking about the perfection. And dotted line, I'm going a little fast. So the chin, measure your fingers, maybe 3 or 4. 4 is fine. So 4 fingers, put a dot. Or 3 fingers, whatever your chin size is. My forehead, right here. Okay, it's a little bigger. I can put a palm there. And I put right there. Now, if I don't know nothing, if I'm not about the round shapes, it's okay. I'm just joining these dots. Just very basic stuff I'm talking now. Okay, if you're bored, let me know. I'll be faster then. If you are or if people can understand, you can join this like a little circle. And this one go on the top because we have a skull to cover. Okay. And now you have oval shape here. And then your eyes are in the middle of the face. Make a pinch. Make a pinch. You'll be able to find the spot. Same thing on the face. On the paper, this is exactly what you will do. Spread your fingers, make a pinch. Put a dot. Spread your fingers, bring it together in the middle. You have middle. So there's so many ways to do this. Sorry, we have to fast forward. Okay, so your eyes, how many eyes can fit in your face? Anybody knows? I know you know. Come on. Yes, I heard that. Thanks, Lark. Thank you. So 5 eyes, divide that into equal 5. If not, use the pencil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then I'm going to come to this now. I'm not drawing a shape, but I am just drawing a spot. And then middle of the eye, we all know that. I don't need to go over this, that your nose, distance between 2 eyes is equal to the nose. Middle of the eyes, take your face, and on and on. Your nose, let me just do that. So, middle of the eyeball, middle of nose, equal. Length of the nose, equal to ear. When you show them like this, they follow. Okay. Nose. No, my ears are bigger. It's okay. Make bigger ears then. Doesn't hurt. Okay. So middle of the nose and chin is another pinch. So that's giving you dimensions. You can Google it. If not, then I have this end of our presentation. You will have all this. These are from web only. Okay, so I'll share that. So we'll move on since we have a lot to cover. Oh, by the way, this is just for the simple. So your neck, that's another portion. We can do another workshop. So neck is half of your head. Shoulders, 2 heads makes your shoulder. because sometimes they bring it too narrow. So simple, half of the head, so half is equal to my neck. My two heads will fit my my shoulder. So simple little things, okay? Then this is another level. If you turn to the side, this middle line will move to the side, okay? Let me just do this. Hopefully, even if it's permanent, I don't. So your nose will move too. Your lips will move as well. And your eye will move as well. Okay. Sorry, I'm on the two side. So if you're going down,
excuse me so bad. I'm sorry to interrupt. I want to let you know we have a half an hour from now.
Okay, no worries. So this is if you move your head, your center line will move to the side. If you move your head down, so the top line will move to the down and your eyes will go down too. Okay, so these are the basics that we need to know. Okay, so I'm going to put this away as a warning. Half an hour will go. Okay, so other thing I said that we can do is, let's say, for example, so if you have your printed selfie of your students or yourself, you can tell them to fold it in half, where your nose is, not half of the paper, but where your middle portion of it, tell them to take it pretty much straight in the beginning. And then you can put it like this and try to copy the same on the other side. That's another easy way for them to follow along. And once this portion is done, they can just take this over. I have done it both ways. I have done it like having it one side and keep this paper on, paste it and color on top if you'd want to. If not, then remove this and then copy other side. You can do both sides, both ways. Okay. Hope it makes sense. Is it okay with everybody, please? Okay. Sorry, I have to go too fast. So this one is a completed portrait. I did it with Mocha a couple of weeks ago. I had a studio time with them. But today, since we are working on this one, I was coming up with this idea. Because being a teacher, I realize it's very important for us to practice as well. So if we are practicing, it gives us more confidence to work with our students of different age groups, okay? So I am going to draw, I don't know, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to draw, but yes. So I'm going to leave this on the side. This helps me a lot to begin with. Usually when I'm doing my stuff myself, I use these, what do you call that? Artistic pastels, the chalky ones. They're good for drawing on any surface. So even if it's a cardboard, it helps a lot, okay? So I'll pick one, maybe red color. So I'm going, right now, by looking at that, I feel like drawing all of them. So same, I'm not a perfectionist. Middle of that eye, middle of this, because this is going on the side. So I am just gonna go, I'm gonna pick up the main features. I'm not gonna go into details because of the time limit right now. And this is not about the perfectionist, being perfectionist anyway, so I'm okay. Whatever I could catch. This is just what my rough drawing is. Row line. Anytime you feel like reaching me, I'm okay. I can always go over with you on one-on-one whenever you need it. It's okay with me. My ears, because it's a little tilted. The side, so I have to pick this one off. I have to move this one. I'm feeling like to draw all of them, but I'm going to remove these ones for now so that we can focus on one. Here's my hairline. This is when my hair was not cut, about 3 months ago. This is after cut, okay? So excuse me. And my neckline, my shoulders are going up. I have some hair here, but I don't care about my hair. Oh, by the way, I prepare my canvas with any color. This was not prepared for the portrait, but I'm doing it. Usually I color any color on my canvas to begin with. Okay. So once you have the basics, then I don't know even if it's looking like me or not, but that is not the main thing right here, because I want that this should be, we can go into a lot of details later on. So once I have my basic sketch, today I was prepared. Okay, this works very well for me for acrylic color, so I'm using acrylic. You know, the spray for the apples, easy to carry, it's close. I use this kind of stuff for that, so this helps me. These sponges are good to absorb water. I always tell them to be a little careful for the spills. My brushes, I love all kinds of big or small brushes. I love the angular ones to draw because then you can draw directly with the color. So for now, for the colors, usually if you're doing dark colors, oil is good. That if you, excuse me, but we are using acrylic, so lighter is better. More water, but not too much of a water. So I'm just going to have a little bit of, see. Okay, let me bring it here. Excuse me, guys. Okay, so again, the colors are not the case. I don't try to use the mixed colors, so using my little bit of this. So this was, I have to put my selfie somewhere because I cannot see myself. I'm starting with the darkers. We already have it. And mixing colors is always good, just to give them an idea about, I can't see myself, okay, so excuse me, I'm not, it's just gonna be good if we can even get over with the small little start today due to the time limit. But you have a finished product here. So I'm taking the darker sides, even the selfie is not showing, and don't be afraid. Don't go into your fine lines. Just, are you able to see it? If you want to talk, you can talk at the same time. So I can hear something from you guys. If you have questions, I'm okay with it. If you want to talk something, please.
I think they're all muted according to the.
You can unmute. That's fine. I'm okay with participation. I like that.
I have a question as you're working on this. You mentioned that you did the finished portrait on our right on the screen at the Museum of Contemporary Art, Jacksonville. But you told me when we first met how long that took you. What was the length of the workshop?
Workshop was 2.5 hours. And all the adults. And this is not complete. This we were just able to, you know, give it a try. But whenever we'll find time. But for me, sometimes unfinished work is not finished, but finished work is unfinished anyways. So all right. I'm
Thank you.
still good because what also I should tell you actually my idea behind that one is I should go back. I am little my little bag from my travels. I keep stuff sometimes even the things I wear, the old clothes. So sometimes if I feel like I'll take glue and paste on it. For this particular one, I have something in my mind, which is some yarn from left from my mom's work. And I'm feeling like that I'm gonna make a web with this. So that's what my feeling is. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. And I'll share a screen with you that I used yarn and I see that painting was started long ago, but I recently finished it. And it is in the show Purple Rain in Tech Gallery. It's on the website too. So if you want to look, you can look at that too. Yes, go ahead, please. Anybody? Any questions? No, I love colors. It does not have to be a skin tone. Skin tone is nothing. You just go crazy however you're feeling because right now I am feeling, I don't know. I I feel like some blues are coming. How? I have no idea. And I love using bigger brushes because they help you finish quick. Also, if you notice, you must tell your students and yourself, as I'm sure you know it, always half close your eyes to really see the colors. And also always go far to check your painting or art. Because sometimes they get irritated. We also get irritated in the beginning when we're looking to the work so close. We say, oh, it doesn't look like right to me. Study yourself. Study your work. That's what we're going to do in last few minutes. Please interrupt me in next 5 minutes. We're going to come back here because they can always finish this later.
Aljit, this is Bonnie. I have to let you know that the FAEA protocol is that the participants are muted. So that's why
I see.
You're not hearing
Okay.
from them. It's
no, that's fine then.
I'll read you some of the comments.
Okay.
I love the colors. So cool. She is awesome. Please let her know we're not allowed to unmute.
Okay, I didn't know that. I'm sorry. Okay, thank you.
Right. That's why I'm letting you know. Also, okay. There was a question about how would you suggest that this could be adapted for K2, or would you do it with kindergarten and second grade through second grade?
I will, and I love that. I love to do that with eyes. You know that segment I was talking to you? You just write word eyes. I can go there. You want me to touch on that? I'll do that. So then I have to stop this one. Just give me 1 second. I'll go there.
Well, maybe you could just talk us through it because I think they're enjoying watching you work. I don't interrupt your painting.
Okay, no worries. That's fine. The eyes is like, that's okay because practically it makes more sense. So this we are not worried. So if you write word AEYE, that will give you what I was talking about, how to do a small stuff with the eyes. Then you add a little drop here. Okay. For your half a circle under the E for eyelid. And this is your nose. If you bring it up, you can roll it up like E as well, or whatever you want to name it, it's okay. And then what you do, bring the Y to the eyebrows.
That's clever.
Okay, and then if you go next, you just draw a big U, and then alphabet C, opposite for the ears.
I love that you're connecting it with the alphabet too. I think that would be perfect for younger viewers.
Exactly. So C on this side, C on this side. And then for this one, I usually say you can drive a dot to make a line. Dot traveling to another dot makes a line. Dot, dot, and then dot in the eyes. Sorry, we're going crazy here. And alphabet M, or even you can go V, Victor in the middle. Join it, expanded M. Then curve it up like half a C will give you lips.
Someone commented this ties into English language arts standards too.
Absolutely, it does. So then you can also do it with maths. See, that's how we're talking. As the levels go up, you can talk different things with them. For anatomy, to ask the question, when they go to the doctor's office, what do they see? People's picture there with the skeleton or something. What's that? Skeleton is in your body. What about this? This is a skull, and skull fits in your head. How does that do that? When we go to the side, this is my skull. If I go a profile, if you're looking me from the side. So if that is it, where is my nose? It's right here. From skull, if I raise it when I'm alive, I have my nose, this bone. If my lips, M, and if I make my eyes, I'm alive.
We have about 15 more minutes, Daljit.
All right, no problem. Make my hairstyle and my ear. And it's my side profile because I cut myself in half. So that brings the science in there. You ask them. Then, rectangle part we talked. Oh, you can also say zigzag lines for the hairstyle. For whatever hairstyle. I also make them laugh because when I talk about that, okay, we have this, and if I'm doing a crown, or other side, I'm making a girl with a ribbon. Because when I was little, my mom used to put a ribbon on my top of that. So, okay, so this is, interesting. Because we don't want them to limit or copy me. We want them to think beyond the boundaries, out of the box. So that's where the success will come, because I'm very honest. Some things I do feel in the system when we are there, if we are creating too much paperwork for teachers, too many things to show up, we are lacking to teach them the real skills. So I am big into that, okay, let them do what they want to do, but that's definitely, I'm a disciplinary person too. So you have to take control. Your expectation has to be very clear in the classroom, because otherwise it's very difficult. They're cute, but it's difficult because they are never trained. So we cannot say that. So we are the people who are going to train them to set up in that system so they can talk about what's in them, and we can read them through those lines, the way we're going to read ourselves now through our own lines. So I would like everybody to share that with us too. So this will become your portrait, your selfie. I'm sorry, we're going too crazy here, I believe.
I think it's good for students to see that it's experimental and you're not afraid of making a bold move. All too often, our keynote speaker talked about the portraits he was doing, and he was saying that our students think that we just become artists. Suddenly we're just this great artist, you know, with no steps in between.
Not only that, Miss Bonnie, sorry, because our mind is set as well that if you draw, you only become an artist. No, it's not true. The seat I'm sitting on is done by an artist as a drawing. Doctor who learned about my body, learned about anatomy, that's science. Structure this you're sitting in the school is a building done by an artist, drawing. Leonardo da Vinci studied the balloon, aerodynamics. Michelangelo did the dissection of the body's study. That was science. And it's in medical to research the medicine. So we are not teaching them to become just an artist. We are opening up this language, which is a sign language studied from the caves, that you don't need to talk. You can express yourself. You don't need a psychologist sometime. This is a healing process. So that's why I always keep on saying that this is a limitless, this is boundaryless. So sometimes you see your students drawing some stick figures. You know what? I can make out sometimes how the child is coming from home. And then all of a sudden he's crunching on the paper because it's not him. Something he was awake all night. It's his self-expression. It's his selfie. I'm sorry. I think I'm getting too emotional. All right.
Oh, I think that's wonderful. And here's some more comments. I think students are most afraid to draw faces. How do you get them over the fear and unwillingness to try and work through mistakes?
See, this is exactly, if we start with the eyes, they don't have to draw themselves. Just write something. If they love to write, come up with something that they can do with the words. And there are so many ways to do that. So if they make a mistake, tell them that there's no mistakes, number one. There are no mistakes in art. We can always fix it. And this is a common, we all teachers do that. If this is not done, that's why the portrait we are doing, maybe, see, do you think it's a perfect thing we started with? No. Our plan was to create something boundaryless. So even if I make a mistake, we can go on top of it. Or being a teacher, you can say, okay, give me a moment, go just to that person so that they are not embarrassed or something, fix it. And tell them, keep this one, do or flip the paper over and draw over. Oh, thank you for reminding me. I have something for very little stuff. For those people, you can do this. Here, I have some cutouts. I keep it in these envelopes. And I did that. If they don't know, give them this.
Like a jump start.
Yep. Okay. And then
here's another comment. These were great ideas for remembering to make our craft fun, especially for those who doubt their skill and creativity. Thank you. It's not too crazy. Brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you so much. If that is helpful. Well, how much time do we have now? Can we go over?
You don't have too much time. We have about 10 more minutes because we want to, I see people working and doing their own work. Do you want to have them just hold up to their screen? And if they're willing,
absolutely.
Would you like to see that?
Yes, absolutely.
Can you see the gallery? I think you
might Everybody up. Ooh, that's amazing. I can't help it. Hold on, guys. I'm a selfie person. Call me crazy. I'm good with it.
That's great.
Woo. Let me take another one. Everybody on the screen with their work.
Smile.
Smile. 3, 2, 1, and go. Oh, you guys did an amazing job. Look at that. Ooh. Can you take a picture and share it in the chat, please? Take a selfie of your self work and share it in the chat. And also,
I'll try.
I am going to put there is a survey. Please, if you fill that out and email it to me, I'll be sending you your lesson plan. Just to get you some help, if it is possible. And you can also visit my Facebook page. I don't have, teacher focused stuff, but at least staying connected I'm in process of starting a selfie group or self-portrait group, and we'll be able to do that as well. Um, in particular one, should I go back to the some of the slides I can share quickly, please?
Yes. Yes.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Let me just.
This has been really wonderful. I think you were able to give everybody something that they will be able to actively use immediately, which is
I'm
so
glad.
good in
I'm
these
glad. Thank you.
presentations.
Thank you. Okay, let me share this. And so I can go over some of the slides quickly with you guys. So then you can refer back if you need something special on that particular one. So we covered this one. This was one. Are you able to see my screen at this
Yes,
time?
very good.
Okay, so this one, again, I'm sharing myself selfie. Man with the selfless selfie is neither distorted or abnormal. Means different than others as he, she dives in their own river of ecstasy, not bothered by about life. Such characters enjoy the moment and have the capacity to save others. So you are wonderful for yourself, okay? So it is not only a psychologist who can pierce the arrow to know the tremor in the mind. There is an explanatory, sorry, I'm flipping, a factor analysis behind the face and the surroundings. Sometimes you will see a picture with the door open. That tells you something. If there's a closed door, it tells you something. There's an open book in the hand, it tells you something. You need to do that analysis for yourself, okay? So selfie is not just the selfie of your face. See, in this particular one, you see a little shell there. I feel like that shell is me. I don't know why, because it just gets me there. It was in my backyard and I felt like that's me. So I'm breathing that moment. Those five organs work here, you know. So it is only the balance in these organs which portray the dark and light niches of the mind to reflect the true self. That's what my belief is in here. So these are the one you can have as a homework. Right now, we're not going to go over this. These artists must check on them because they were all different. Look, is this right? Dali's portrait? No. This is perfect to express it. Van Gogh. Look at this Premiano and Pantamo and El Greco. He never cared about the dimensions. These ones I want you to go over whenever you find time, please. Because of time limit today, we cannot. So everybody did their portrait differently. You don't have to limit yourself. This is one of my favorites. And Dali is how he put everything to express himself. Do you think it's perfect? So the answer to the question which you were referring earlier, Bonnie, what if they say it's a mistake? Do you think this is the right portrait according to a child? No. According to psychologists, yes. According to the person who goes deep in this is perfect. It represents Dali. Look at this one, Paul Cézanne. Look at this one. Do you think this is a correct one? This looks like a mistake for a child, right? But when you're really looking in, this is not, this has been corrected. If we want to give an example to a child. So more of these, and these mannerism and portraits must read this. Okay, whenever you find time, go online and check it, please. Mannerism portraits. And there are a couple of beautiful videos. I don't have time for that right now, but you can check the links on this, especially this portrait of a young man. It's fantastic. There is a link on website. You will be able to find how to, express this one.
Okay,
So there are links here.
just 2 more minutes, and I want to say that someone said, this is great. Please share the Facebook selfie site. You've got some interest in that, and they'd be interested in joining that. I'm just I'm scrolling through all the messages. Thank you so much for this presentation. Love your energy and your obvious passion for art. Beautiful work.
Thank you. So these are some questions I have, Bonnie, for everybody. Please, if they can find 5 different things, 3 to 5 different things about the work, they can share. And if you can share that link of that, what do you call? I'll stop sharing. I'll just go on to, where is it? Am I back on this chat or?
What was your question?
I want them to, everybody to have that. Can you share that file, or maybe I can? I'm not sure. the file for
Sorry, I don't know which file you want me to
survey, the survey I sent.
Okay. As I'm doing this.
Okay, so can you please share that for everybody if possible? Or if they can email me, I can share that as well if they are not able to find it here.
I'm opening it now.
Okay. But thank you so much, everybody. This was my pleasure to be a presenter. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this was helpful. And Bonnie, thank you so much. You've been a great help as well for me. And I don't know what else to say.
You did a fabulous job. I'll be the one noise maker, but you can see that they're all clapping. They have their reactions. They can put reactions into it. Lots and lots of good comments. And as we wrap up our session, I want to remind everybody that there's lots more going on at the conference. If you enjoyed our keynote speaker, who also worked a lot on portraits, so if portraits is your thing, you don't want to miss tomorrow, 11:45. It's the member session, free, with Gordon C. James. It's 10:45 to 11:30, so it's a studio session. You'll want to do that. And I also want to mention the awards ceremony is at 11:45 tomorrow, and that is pre-recorded, and you'll get to meet all the people who won awards because they get to make little comments, and it's different. You know, this year is just different, and we're happy to be able to have this platform. We thank the Center for Fine Arts Education for all their support. More accolades coming in. Thank you. Great presentation. Thank you so much. Enjoyed it. And I'm going to try and get that survey in here, but if I mess it up, I'll send it to them independently. I'll remind everybody that FAEA will have a cumulative survey that will come to you by email. So please make note, put your comments in that if you enjoyed this session when you get the survey from FAEA. The survey that Daljit wants is one for her personally.
Yeah, so either way, if they reach me back, I think or if even if they drop me a line, I'll send them the lesson plan so that it could help a little bit. I know how it is because I've been through it.
All right.
Thank you.
I think that's a sign off for all of us. You did perfectly. Wonderful timing. Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.